Greetings and welcome to lecture number 4 on unit number 3, fluid kinematics. This lecture we are going to discuss the continuity equation. Actually, in fluid mechanics, there are three governing equations: law of conservation of mass, law of conservation of momentum, and law of conservation of energy. The entire fluid mechanics is governed by these three equations. So the continuity equation is nothing but law of conservation of mass. So this lecture will see the expression of continuity equation in three-dimensional flow. So for three-dimensional flow, we consider a fluid element of length dx, dy, dz in the direction x, y, and z. Let u, v, w are the inlet velocity components in x, y, and z directions respectively. So this is a fluid element, or we can say the control volume, where the fluid entering into this control volume along x direction, also along y direction, and along z direction. So this is x direction, where the component of velocity is u. This is y direction, a positive y direction, where the component of velocity is v. This is positive z direction, where the component of velocity, that is inlet velocity, we can say, that is w. So according to the balance statement, or we can say according to the law of conservation of mass for the given control volume, the rate of accumulation of mass within the control volume, that is equal to rate of inflow minus rate of outflow. So the fluid entering the control volume from left face and bottom face, and fluid leaves the control volume from right face and top face. So for example, the rate of accumulation of mass, so mathematically we can write, if mCv is the mass accumulated within the control volume, then dabba by dabba t mCv, that is equal to rate of inflow. So as there are more than one inflow, so we summation of all inflow we consider, that is mass entering from left, entering from bottom, and entering from back face. So all three are the inflow here. For only it is to avoid the crowdness, only two entries are given, shown. But in actual practice, there are three entries: left face, bottom face along z direction, and along y direction, that is back face. And it leaves the control volume in from three faces, that is right face, then top, top face and bottom face. So sorry, for uh, entering the control volume, that is back face, that already I have mentioned. So three entries and three exits. So all summations they are considered here. Call this equation number 1. Then the second mass of fluid entering the control volume, first of all, we consider the mass entering the control volume from this face, that is left face. So as per the definition of mass flow rate, so mass flow rate is equal to, it's a product of density into velocity into area. So basic definition of mass, that is mass is density as a product of density into volume. So if it is a rate quantity, it is divided by time. Then it becomes density into volume divided by time. Then we split the volume into two, that is area into length. Now the expression becomes m dot, that is equal to density into area into length divided by time. Instead of length by time, length divided by time, it is called as a velocity. So this way we can consider as velocity. So the formula becomes density. Instead of length divided by time, we call it velocity, and remaining is the area. So as it is along x direction, we consider density as rho. X direction, because x direction velocity component is u. So we consider u velocity along x direction. And area, that is the flow area, which is always normal to the, we can consider normal to the direction of flow. So this area that we consider, this is dy and this is dz. So dy into dz is the area. So this is mass of fluid entering from left face. So mass of fluid leaving the right phase. Now here we assume that the mass entering the control volume is not equal to mass leaving the control volume, because we have to show there is some accumulation of mass. So there is some incremental change in the mass flow rate. Obviously, as per the convention, we consider the mass is continuously increases along. So that incremental change we can calculate, that is mass leaving the control volume along x direction, is greater than mass entering the control volume from the left face by this amount. And this incremental change is calculated by using Taylor's expression. So Taylor's expression, it tells that f of x, that is equal to f of x plus f dash of x into distance dx. So the same concept we use here. So f of x plus dx. So in this case, f of x is m dot x. So m dot x plus dx, that is equal to f of x is, this is m dot x plus f dash of x, that is m dot dabba by dabba x dx, that is its the difference variation along x direction. This is m dot x into dx. So in Taylor's expression, we write for m dot x. So this is the Taylor's expression. So this is f of x plus f dash of x into dx. So this is the mass of fluid leaving the right phase. So call this equation number 3. Mass of fluid entering the left phase, we can call this equation number 2. Now the rate of accumulation in minus out, that is 2 minus 3, that is m dot x minus m dot x plus dx. So rate of accumulation of mass only considering x direction here, along x direction, that is the difference between or subtraction of 3 from 2. So 2 minus 3. So this term get cancelled. So only terms remain, that is minus dabba by dabba x rho u dx dy dz. So this is rate of accumulation along x direction. Similarly, rate of accumulation along y direction we can calculate. So only in that case, along y directions means variation along y direction we consider, that is dabba by dabba y into rho v. In that y direction we consider y component velocity, that is v. So volume remains constant, that is dx dy dz. And along z direction, we only this x is replaced by z and u is replaced by z component velocity, that is w. So same thing is done here. So similar rate of accumulation of mass in y direction is m dot y plus dy minus. So this is in fact m dot y minus this. So minus dabba by dabba y rho v dx dx dy dz, or we can say the rate of accumulation along z direction. It is in fact it's a mistake here. That is m dot z minus m dot z plus dz. So that is minus dabba by dabba z rho w dx dy dz. Therefore, the net rate of accumulation, we can consider addition of all these three. That is a minus term is common in all these three cases, and also dx dy dz is common in all three cases. So we can take all both things out of the bracket. Inside the bracket, that is dabba by dabba x rho u plus dabba by dabba y rho v plus dabba by dabba z rho w. So this is net accumulation of mass. That is right hand side we have calculated. That call this equation number 4. Now from equation 1 and 4, now instead of mcv, that is actually a mass only mass. Mass is nothing but rho into volume. Volume of the cube or control volume is dx dy dz. So instead of mcv, we can put rho into dx dy dz. So from equation 1, that is dabba by dabba t mcv, which can be written as dabba by dabba t rho into dx dy dz. That is equal to right hand side is equation number 4. This is right hand side. Now again dx dy dz is common here, so we can eliminate that. So only remains that is dabba by dabba rho by dabba t, and the right hand term is the only the bracket term remains, because dx dy dz get cancelled from both sides. So call this equation number 4. Or we can take all the terms on one side equating to 0 as well. So the equation number 4 is called as continuity equation for three-dimensional flow for unsteady compressible flow. Why we can call as a compressible flow? Because we have still consider density as a variable. It is put inside the bracket of the differential. So if it is taken out of the bracket, then it becomes density is constant. Only in that case we can take this rho out of the differential. But at present we have keep as it is. So density is a variable we have considered. So the meaning of this, the density varies along x direction, density varies along y direction, and density varies along z direction because we have put inside the differential bracket. So that's why as the density, if we are considered as a variable, then it is we are considering this particular expression can be applicable for compressible flow. And also density varies with respect to time as well, then it is called as unsteady state. So the equation number 4 can be applicable for three-dimensional because all the fluid varies along three direction. So three-dimensional, it is for unsteady because the density varies with respect to time. So the fluid also varies with respect to time. So unsteady, compressible flow because density is considered as a variable. So this equation is called as a unsteady three-dimensional compressible flow. That is continuity equation for unsteady three-dimensional compressible flow, to be specific. Now, in vector form, we can write if instead of this bracket term, so bracket term, it is actually a product of two vectors. So it is del into this bracket term, we can call that is rho into v bar because u, v, w, instead of that, we can put velocity vector v bar and rho del rho, that is we can call, and v bar we can also take inside. So product of a gradient of rho into v bar, instead of this we can put, and dabba rho by dabba t, or all the terms we can take on left hand side equating to 0. So this is a conservative form of continuity equation. For the most generalized form of continuity equation, we can say here we are considering the flow is compressible. Here we are considering the flow is unsteady as well. So this is a conservative form of continuity equation. For incompressible flow, the density is constant. If the density is constant, we can take the density out of the bracket. And as it is equating to 0, we can say. And if for incompressible flow, the density doesn't change neither with respect to space coordinate nor with respect to time. So it is immaterial that for incompressible flow, the dabba rho by dabba t has to be 0. It is because rho doesn't change with respect to time, rather than not only with respect to time, but also with respect to space coordinate. So as density is constant, it's constant with all variables for incompressible that we already studied in compressible incompressible relations. Hence equation 5 becomes, so either it is del v bar is equal to 0, or here this term is 0, rho we can take outside the bracket, that is equating to 0, and rho we can eliminate from all sides. So it becomes dabba, and minus sign also we can eliminate. So that is dabba u by dabba x plus dabba v by dabba y plus dabba w by dabba z equal to 0. So, or we can say that is del v bar equal to 0. That is equation number 6. So this equation 6 is called as a continuity equation for three-dimensional flow for steady as well as unsteady incompressible flow. So for in unsteady incompressible flow, because in this case, for whether for steady as well as unsteady flow, dabba rho by dabba t remains constant. For incompressible flow is constant. So the same equation can be used for unsteady flow as well, or incompressible. So this equation is used for not only for possibility of flow, but if the flow is possible, this equation can be used to check whether the flow is compressible or incompressible. If for the given velocity field, if there are three components of the velocity u, v, w, if their differentiation with respect to respective coordinates, that is differentiation of u with respect to x, differentiation of v with respect to y, and differentiation of w with respect to z, and if put the values expressions here, and if it comes zero, then the flow is called as a flow is possible. Or if that velocity distribution, if it is a case of possible flow, then the same expression can be used whether the flow is compressible or incompressible. If this equation satisfy, then the flow is incompressible. If it doesn't satisfy and the flow is possible, then this is a possible case of a compressible flow, not incompressible. So these are some numerical part. These can be asked many times. There are many numericals on continuity equation. We'll see the numerical part also there. So this is about the continuity equation. So there are two expressions of the continuity equations. So the one expression that is the most generalized expression, that is called as a continuity equation for unsteady compressible flow. And this expression is continuity equation for unsteady incompressible flow. This is in non-conservative form. In conservative form, I forget to write here. So it is only del V bar because rho eliminated from the equation, and this is 0. So del V bar is equal to 0. That is in conservative form of equation in incompressible. So that's it about the continuity equation. So continuity equation can be written for one-dimensional flow as well. So for one-dimensional flow, only we have considered here is only first term of the continuity equation. That is, yes, as it is a first term, the partial differentiation can be converted into a exact differentiation. So d by dx rho u into dx dy dz, that is equal to 0. Obviously, we are considering a steady flow. So this is for the steady flow. So dx get cancelled. So the equation is rho u into dA, because dA is the area. That is dy by dz is the area that is from the left face we are considering. And if we integrate this term, then it becomes integration that is for the entire flow, the integration along x direction, that is the average velocity v, and integration of dA, that is a, that is equal to constant. If we integrate with respect to a, that is the differential term is converted into an integral term. That is rho v a is equal to constant, or we can say the mass flow rate at 1 is equal to mass flow rate at 2. That is rho 1 v1 a1, that is equal to rho 2 v2 a2. So that is called as, that's why it is called as the law of conservation of mass. The mass flow rate, suppose the one condition is at the inlet, two condition is at the outlet, then we can say that mass entering the control volume or at the entry, that is equal to mass leaving the control volume. For incompressible flow density, this equation we can use for compressible flow as well. But for incompressible flow, the density remains same. So rho 1 is equal to rho 2. So the equation can be reduced to a1 v1, that is equal to a2. So many problems in coming topics, we use this continuity equation, because generally for solving problem, we consider a one-dimensional flow. So for one-dimensional flow, the continuity equation is required. That is, this is the continuity equation. That is a1 v1, that is equal to a2 v2 if the flow is incompressible. And most of the fluid mechanics problems, we are dealing with only incompressible. So here, this equation we use many times in coming topics, especially in fluid dynamics, flow through pipe, like that. A1 v1, that is equal to a2 v2 in order to calculate either velocities or discharge. So a1 v1, that is called as a discharge area into velocity, it's meter cube per second. So this equation is called as continuity equation for one-dimensional flow for steady, as well as, in fact, it is for steady only, for steady uh, incompressible, because for unsteady flow, it is not, even for unsteady flow also, for given time it is applicable. It is even given that is applicable. So that's it from this particular session. So at the end of this particular session, you must know how to derive the continuity equation from the first principle, that is law of conservation of mass, or from the balance statement, and how to derive the continuity equation for one-dimensional flow, that is from reduce the three-dimensional flow into a one-dimensional flow, and simplifying we get the continuity equation for one-dimensional flow. Continuity equation is generally there are two forms of continuity equation in three-dimensional flow. One is most generalized form, which is applicable for unsteady compressible flow, and for incompressible flow, that is dabba u by dabba x plus dabba v by dabba y plus dabba w by dabba z. So these are the takeaways from this particular session, and you must ensure at the end of this particular topic, you must know these learning outcomes. Thank you very much. Next lecture, we will study some numerical part of